Hey everyone, Micah here with EbikeSchool.com, and today I've got a really neat e-bike unboxing for you guys. This is the AddMotor M-81. It's a fat tire cargo electric bike. So let's get to the unboxing. All right, I can already tell this is a huge e-bike accessory box. Now the easiest way to get these bikes out and the best way to not hurt yourself is to just cut the front of the box, fold it down and pull it out. But I often try and save the box just in case I need to send the bike back, and it's nice to throw all the garbage in. So I'm gonna try and get it out without destroying the box here. All right, this is a pretty big bike. All right, now we got another first class ticket to Cable Tie City. All right, starting to see this thing take shape here. Now, especially with these big bikes, the sooner you can get that front wheel on, the better, because the whole thing's just gonna be more stable. If you've got a bike stand to work in, that's great. I mean, that's the best thing. But if you're like me and you're just unboxing these things anywhere, once you get that front wheel on, it'll be more stable and easier to work on. And once you pull this hydraulic disc caliper spreader out, that's the spacer that keeps the brakes from being pulled. You're going to be careful to not touch that brake lever there, because now these calipers can squeeze and the pads will become too close together. So now I've got that out, I'm just going to be careful not to touch the brakes while I put the wheel in. And this is where the kickstand comes in handy. And now we can put our quick release skewer in. Now there's been some talk in the news lately about the safety of these quick release skewers. You absolutely want to make sure this thing is in all the way, it's up into the dropouts, and that it takes a significant amount of force to close it. And if it's too loose, then it could create a dangerous situation. So always important to make sure that's as tight as you can get it and still close it. All right, where'd I put my snips? There we go. All right, so now that we're at least stable, let's get these handlebars open and we can put those on. Now when possible, I like to leave the padding on the ends of the bars and just take the padding off the center while I do this handlebar clamp. That way I'm just less likely to scratch anything up as I'm moving these bars around. And this is my least favorite part of assembling bikes, is taking out these 4 bolts and then lining up the handlebars. Just takes forever. Okay, now let's get those bars on. So before I snug these up all the way, I'm going to take off the protective foam here. I'm gonna get my handlebars in the orientation I want them. Basically, the way I generally like to set them up is that I have a slightly downward angle on the brake levers here. So turn it around. I like to not go all the way forward. I like to just tilt them down a little bit. That's the most comfortable for me. Some people go like really far down. Some people keep them level. And then you can play also with the angle here on the stem to get the handlebars the way you like them. I'm using my, I think it's called the ratchet stick from Topeak. I have no idea how you pronounce this brand, but I love this thing. It is just so convenient. It's a ratchet and a hex driver all in one. It even came with these torque spits, but I never really use those. So I don't keep them on it, but man, this thing is so convenient for all of these hex bolts. Ideally, you'd be using a torque wrench here, but when you do enough of these, you just kind of feel what 10 Newton meters is. Let's do the fender now. Good idea to collect your trash as you go too, so the stuff doesn't start blowing away. Fender's gonna go in here. These are also metal fenders too, which I love. I hate when they include those plastic fenders. I'm gonna have to unbolt the headlight here though, unfortunately, and get this fender on. It's always annoying. But again, a ratcheting hex driver makes it pretty painless. I also like when they make sure the fender arms are way out of the way of the brake calipers, which they did here. It's good when they actually spec these fenders to clear the brakes. The companies that don't, it just seems like laziness. All right, so now the fender is on and we're almost there. We've got some more cable tie unclipping to do here. God, do they use enough foam on these? All right, this bike's really starting to come together. I guess when you got a cargo bike, there's a lot of bike to protect with all of this foam. Jeez. All right, we are very close. Now let's see what we have in the accessory box. Pedals should be in here. There are pedals. Now we've talked about this before in some of my other unboxings, but a quick tip for these pedals is you always want to spin them forwards. You find the right side of the bike, this one is the L, so you know it's the left side, then you spin it forwards towards the front of the bike, and that's going to tighten it, because one of these is reverse threaded. I think it's the left side, but I never remember. And same thing on the right side. I'm just turning it, the top of the pedal goes forwards towards the front of the bike, and then you need a 15mm wrench to tighten it, which they gave us one that is apparently Made out of aluminum foil, it is so thin, but it will do the job. Then you again just tighten towards the front of the bike. Another way you can do it is you can put a 15mm wrench on here and just spin it around while it's still loose and just sort of go like this, and that'll tighten it up as well. All right, the rest of the stuff in this accessory box are the charger and a pile of stickers if we want to put stickers on the bike. Oh man, I'm schwitzing like a pig here. All right, so this should be our battery. Let's get this guy out. Oh yeah, that's your big boy right there. So this is a 48-volt, 20-amp-hour battery. This AddMotor, this is the M-81, this has the new EB 2.0 system, and that means it's got this giant 20-amp-hour battery. So this thing has some serious range on it. Do we have keys somewhere here? There's a zip tie here where the keys normally would be, but I don't see any keys for the battery. I also don't see them in the box. They'd be somewhere else here. All right, so for now, that means my battery is locked on. Definitely no keys in the accessory box or in the charger box. All right, let's do a little more cleanup here so we don't have stuff blowing away. Oh, found the keys. They were hidden in the foam. All right, good. Oh man, it is hot out here. I'm filming this in August. I don't know when this will get uploaded, but it is hot in South Florida. All right, let's get this thing turned on here. Is there an on button for the battery? Oh yeah, on top. All right, perfect. And let me bring you in close for one of my favorite moments on these new bikes. Oh, that felt good. All right. Now let's get a sense of this bike. Now, I already like that it's a step through because it's just so easy to mount like that. And let's see what we have here. So we've got a 750 watt motor. We've got a 960 watt hour battery because that's 48 volts and 20 amp hours, so 960 watt hours. The throttle, ooh, it's pretty powerful right off the line with the throttle. We're gonna test it out in a bit. But already I can tell it's got some serious pickup there. It also has, oh, it's got the new system with turn signals. All right, I gotta try those out. Okay. All right, let me bring you in close for this one again. So it does in fact have turn signals, but they're a little bit diminutive, I would say. So I don't know if anyone's actually gonna notice your turn signal there. Maybe at night this thing is gonna be bright enough to show up, but still, I don't think that you should rely on your turn signals to let someone know you're turning. I would still signal with your arm. All right, what else do we have going on here? We've got a horn. Ooh, it's actually quite loud. I'm not a huge fan of horns, actually. I wish they had also included a bell here. There's only the horn. To be honest, like when I'm coming up behind pedestrians, these kinds of horns, they're a little bit aggressive. And most people don't realize that when you're beeping that horn, that there's a bike coming up behind them. When they hear a bike bell, it's like the universal noise for, hey, I'm coming up behind you with a bike. But this noise, it almost sounds like a forklift is backing up. Right? Let's see, we got hydraulic disc brakes, which feel quite grippy. Oh yeah, and check out that suspension fork. Ooh, it's actually pretty nice. I want to adjust that preload a little bit. Feels a bit soft. Not a huge difference. We got our headlight up here. Headlight's a little small, but won't judge that until I can see it in the dark. And here's that horn we were looking at before. And so far, I think this is actually a pretty nice bike. Let's get rid of our trash here, and then we'll play around with the bike a bit, see what we think. This is kind of a huge box, but hopefully I can just drag it off to a dumpster with the bike here. Not sure this is how it was meant to be used, but I think this is gonna work for us. All right, let's give that a try. Now I noticed the top speed's 20 miles an hour, so I do want to come and play with these settings and see if I can increase that. So usually you can hold up and down together. Let's see, TCN, 24-inch, here 32 kilometers per hour, that's probably the speed limit. So let's see what we can bump that up to. So we can set it up to 45 kilometers an hour, which is 28 miles an hour. So let's set that and see what happens. All right, there we go. Now we got some higher speed. All right, and I am back from dumping the box. In general, I recommend hanging on to those giant bike boxes until you know the bike's working well. I've been riding around for a little bit now, so I know it is. But if you ever need to send a bike back, you're never going to find another box that's going to fit in like the one it came in. So I recommend hanging on to that. So far though, I've only had a few minutes of testing, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've mostly done road riding so far, but now I want to do a little off-roading with this, see how these fat tires really handle. Woo! Oh man, this thing is fun. All right, I gotta get a lower seat height for this. All right, I've never had a cargo e-bike that could do this kind of riding. Oh man, I will say this key placement is terrible though. This is like right where your leg is. I gotta move this back up to the handlebars. I know this will be controversial, but I actually like to keep my keys up on the handlebars where they come. You might see in a lot of my review videos on Electrek, I just leave them there. If you're not subscribed to Electrek already, what are you doing? That's my other channel. You definitely want to check that out. But I like to have them here because I have a few bikes and I'm always getting my keys mixed up. So I leave them on the bike until I go somewhere where I need to lock the bike. I lock it, I take the battery out, and then my keys are with me until I put the battery back on, and then the keys go back on the bike. That way I just keep track of which keys go where, and it's never a security issue because if I'm away from the bike and I have the battery, then the keys are with me. All right, more fun riding. All right, so I've been riding around a bit more here, and what do I like, what do I not like? So far, I would say that the thing that's bugging me has been that when I'm up higher with the seat where it really should be for pedaling form, I'm a little more forward than I want to be, but when I lower the seat, I'm a little further back like this, and you know, generally I like riding with the seat lower anyways. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, you've got to have full leg extension. But to be honest, I just feel more comfortable when I'm lower. I have a lower center of gravity. My feet can flat foot like this, and it doesn't bother me that I don't get full leg extension. So when I sit lower back like this, I feel like I'm still upright and it's a comfortable ride. I'm not too hunched over like a mountain bike or a road bike. The bars could be a little more cruisery. You can see they've got a little bit of a curve to them, but you know, they could be a little more upright. But so far, I'm liking them. I like the grips, it's pretty comfortable. The hydraulic brakes are nice and strong. I'm really glad they went with hydraulics on this one, especially because this is a cargo bike. You know, it's meant to carry a lot of weight. If you're going downhill with a heavy load, you want strong stopping power. And so these are good grippy brakes. Not sure what size rotors they put on these. They're probably 180s, they look pretty big. Yeah, 180. So they didn't go with 160s and cheap out. If they'd gone with 203s, that would have been incredible, but 180 is still quite good. The fat tires are fun. I've been ripping up on this grass, on gravel. Basically, it goes everywhere. On the road, you get some significant tire roar. And you got to make sure you're pumped up enough that it handles well on the road, at least like 20 or so for the road. When you're off-road, you know, you can drop that pressure down a bit. This is really, you know, optimized for being able to take it on different terrain, gravel, grass, dirt, that kind of thing. Maybe even sand. I don't know if it's got enough power to go through deep sand, but definitely this is meant for more than just road riding. There's a reason they went with a fat tire cargo bike instead of going with narrower, like, you know, 1.5 or 2 inch city tires. And it definitely makes a difference in terms of that comfort and in terms of being able to take it in places like this. I've also been riding around all morning using the charge that came on it. I haven't charged this thing yet, and I still have power left. So this giant 960 watt-hour battery has a lot of capacity in it, especially since riding off-road like this, you're gonna be burning through a lot of battery. So I'm glad to see they put that big battery on here, and it seems to be working well. I haven't even charged it. I'm still going. Still not a fan of the turn signals with the horn. It just seems so silly. Like, why include it? It's just marketing fluff to me, but hey, it doesn't take away from the bike, so I'm not going to ding them too hard on that. Other than that, I've been quite happy with this thing. It's, you know, it's got everything that I would want out of the box. It's got the fenders, it's got the hydraulic disc brakes, it's got built-in lighting, even if I don't need the turn signals. At a price of 1,900 bucks, it seems fairly good priced. I mean, if that was a little bit lower, I'd be like, man, that's a deal. But still, for the parts that you're getting here, I think 1,900 is well within reasonable compared to other e-bikes in the field, especially since this is a cargo bike and they always tack on a few hundred extra bucks when it says cargo in the title because it's a specialty type of bike. So 1,900 bucks doesn't feel like highway robbery. Though if they had put this at like, I don't know, 1,700, I'd be like, man, that's a steal. But enough of me blabbing. I want to hear what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the AddMotor M-81. And last but not least, before we go, it's time to announce the winner of the giveaway from my last video. And the randomly selected commenter is John Allen. So congratulations, just let me know which one of my books you'd like. You could choose from DIY Lithium Batteries, DIY Solar Power, The Ultimate Do-It-Yourself E-Bike Guide, or my latest book, The Electric Bike Manifesto. And anybody else who wants a chance to win one of my books for free, all you have to do is put a comment down below. You can say anything you'd like, and hopefully you'll be the randomly selected commenter at the end of my next video. Anyone out there that doesn't want to wait that long to hopefully win one of my books, you can always find them on Amazon, and that helps support me making these types of videos. All right, thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you here next time.